Good morning, FlossTube. It's Chrissy, finally a farm girl, and it is Sunday, January 23rd, and this is FlossTube episode 32. I hope you are doing good. I had a really big week, and I believe that I have maybe a little less to share than normal, but because of some, really fun news that I have to share with you, you will understand why. So first, if you're new, I'm so glad to have you here. I love to spend time with my stitchy friends all over the world, and last week it was so awesome that many of you who commented told me where you were from, and there's just nothing better than that. I have a new, not new, I've known her for a little bit, but I have a new stitchy friend from Paris. I have some fun stitchy news to share about that, so I'm excited about a new future project. Anyways, welcome. If you are not familiar with FlossTube is basically just a portion of YouTube that is all for stitchers and primarily cross stitch. However, every now and then FlossTubers will throw in some other fiber arts. There might be crochet and there might be needlepoint. For me today, it is 100% about cross stitch. I have some whips to share, but the biggest part of what I wanted to share today are called little gems, and I think that you're gonna like them. A lot of FlossTubers have shared their progress or charts or fully finished hands across the sea samplers. So today I am going to bring those mine that I have completed to you. I had a big finish. Well, it's not, I guess I shouldn't say it. It's not huge. It was a little gem finish, and I'm excited to share that with you. It was a stitch along, and it was the Rosa Sugars SAL that I am or was doing, but I'll still be watching everybody's progress with Carolina Cross Stitcher. So I have that in fully finished form for you today. Okay, so I gotta tell you guys, this time I'm gonna need a little bit of coffee. Usually we spend just a few minutes going through what my week was, and the biggest news I have for this week was that I have not shared before, was that my dad has moved. And he moved literally only a few miles away from where I was. However, the exciting part is that he moved into the plantation of Leesburg, which is where we are at. So inside the plantation, just so you understand it, we have about 17 individual small neighborhoods. So even though he lives inside where we are, he is still a couple miles away. I believe it's 2.1 miles because I have been walking it. It was such a journey for him, and I am glad that we're on the other side of it. I know that he is, and as time goes by, I will share a little more, but I know that you can understand how awesome it feels to have him even closer than before, and just be there for each other. This house needs some paint on the walls, and that is right up my dad's alley. He is pretty much the painter of the family, and I'm excited to be able to share eventually some of those transformation pictures, with you. But it is a lovely house, and his dog Maggie and his cat Oscar are transitioning really well, and we just couldn't be happier. So this week, after he closed, off and on, Randy and I would offer our help and support, and so a little bit of normal stitchy time was turned into go down and help in the celebration and the excitement of a new move. So anyways, that is one of the biggest news I have. Second is, I think that if you didn't watch my last FlossTube, just to catch you up, I announced that my sister and I were going to do it's called a half marathon, 13.1 miles, and it's a Run Disney. It's a virtual marathon. So I have been gearing up for that. Now my sister has done a few marathons, and this, I believe, is her first. She's gearing up for a full marathon that I believe is in March. But either way, this is just one of those things that I know she's coming for a visit in February, and this just fell into place, and it's something that I've always wanted to do. So we will walk in my mom's honor. I had a nice message from on Instagram asking me to walk on behalf of a woman's sister, and because she no longer can walk, and you got it. If you want me to just say a prayer and walk on a family member or friend's behalf, my sister and I would happily add it to our list of who we are walking on behalf. And she has graciously agreed on that weekend, do a FlossTube with me. So, okay. It looks weird because I can see the hole in the wall where one of my Hands Across the Sea little gems usually is. So maybe we should get started with some of that. Hold on one second, let me take a little sip. I feel like I'm a little behind on caffeine today because Philip, I usually share with you, Philip is my son, he has special needs, and he has a neurological disorder and epilepsy as well that is caused from that. And boy, last night at 4 o'clock in the morning, he just had a really rough time, and it took a while to transition back to help him go back to sleep. And it happens. It just is what it is. But I will tell you, it's cold here today, so a day relaxing and resting and staying warm and stitching is exactly what the doctor ordered. So I wanted to start first with all my Hands Across the Sea little gems. I love these because even though I love all of Hands Across the Sea samplers that Nicola shares, that designs go out, these are really fun for me. They are a good way for me to try silks or new flosses because they're not huge in size. So this is the very first one that I ever did. This is Agnes Husband. I love it because it is all my favorite type of, I love reds. So it was very easy. Now I did use the silks. I bought them from, they were the Soie d'Alger, because there was only three colors, I think 3 or 4 colors. And I got those from Hoop and Frame, which I will go ahead and link below for you, the shop. They put a lot of, not all, but many of Hands Across the Sea samplers. They'll put thread packs together of the silks, and they also have beautiful linen by Legacy. I built up some of my stash from them. They're incredibly quick on shipping, and so it's made it easy on a few of these where I wanted to try silk to order straight, from them. So this is Agnes Husband. It was my first experience in learning about why black was introduced in Young Girls Sampler, and the black represents family members who are deceased. And I just find history fascinating, and I just love how they really, I guess I want to just say how they cherished and remembered their loved ones. And yet you still know by looking at it that they're deceased. So anyway, she was 11 years old, and this was dated 1862. So this is Agnes Husband. And I believe, if I recall the story right, Wigton was where she was from. So again, this is a little gem, and you can get it as a PDF download. And I think I stitched it in about a week. I started it on a weekend, and it's just so small that it's just so fun to stitch. Absolutely so fun to stitch. So that was my very first little gem. Let me put them over here for a second. The next one I did was, hold on one second here. Okay, The next one I did was Mary Steed. Now, Mary Steed is not stitched per the pattern. Mary Steed is special to me because she, let's see if this helps you a little bit better on the other side. She, this is what I stitched, and I needed something to take my mind off of last year when my mom had went into the hospital, and this just felt like something, all the floss were there because this was another one that I did do in silks, because I believe, again, there was only about 5 or 7 colors. You could see not many. Green, a blue, I'll get in there for you. This red is gorgeous. It's really pretty. But inside this little gem is a lot of little mistakes. And it started off really well, and it just, to me, it just tells me the story of, you know, my mom's passing and where I was at the time, because when she first was in the hospital, I was just needing to be busy. I was doing well. I did the alphabet, and by the time I got down, I wanted something with a good verse in it that kept me looking towards, you know, God in this moment of time. And by the time I got down to a few days in, when we got it moved into hospice, I started making some mistakes. It was just getting harder and harder to focus. And down here, I made a mistake on the plant or pot. And so what I did was I just went ahead and put my mom's 2 initials in. I threw a heart in. It is not one I stitched to be proud of. I stitched it for therapy. I stitched it, you know, just to keep my heart straight. And I love it just the same as any other ones. So let me see if I can get you in a little bit closer there. Now this one is Mary Steed, 1824, and she was 12 years old. Again, this was done in silks, and they're really pretty, and they came from Hoop and Frame. I was trying to recall what, I believe I did use a legacy on this from Hoop and Frame as well, but it's really a beautiful stitch. The golds in it are what made me want to use this gold overtone frame, and I love it. You will notice that with the exception of Agnes' husband, I tend to pick Hands Across the Sea that obviously has a verse that I like, and especially these little gems. I've shared before, I love visual reminders around my home. And this one is so pretty because it says, "O love the Lord, and he will be a tender father unto thee." At that point in time, that's what I needed to hear. Because what I was, you know, with mom and anybody you love, watching them in pain, I just needed to know that I just needed to rely on the Lord and that he would be a tender father. And even though the ending was not what I or anybody in my family wanted, the Lord did take care of mom in the end. And he was a tender father. So those really help me. Little gems really help me. They have great small reminders. That's why I keep them in my bedroom. The next one I did a stitch along with Tina Egner. She used to be Emily Ann's Closet. You can find her on Instagram. And she has a daughter named Emily. I still call her Em. So she changed the name and she stitched this for her daughter's birthday. This is absolutely one of my favorite pieces. The combination with the frame, the red, I used Classic Colorworks Dracula. Loved the variegation in that. It was so fun to stitch. Absolutely so fun to stitch. Let's see if I can get you over here a little bit better. Again, she's age 11, 1892. Now, not only did I love everything about this one because I love red work, but again, the message was so simple for an 11-year-old to be so just smart. And her words were, God is love. 3 words, so easy, but when I need it, it's right there on my wall as a good reminder. I was hoping you could see some of the variation. There you go, in Dracula. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful, and it's wonderful to stitch with. So that is Emily Ann Foster. Tina and I Tina and I go way back to, 6 years now, I think. And one day she reached out and we were talking about our basically motherhood blessings with 2 children with special abilities. And it just took off as a friendship from there. Now we are both very practical in that we can't always keep up with each other because of the fact that we are busy moms and wives and grandmas. And so, but from across the miles, I couldn't be blessed anymore with a friendship in Tina. So I know most of you know who she is. But anyways, that was a fun stitch that we did. We've done many little ornaments and other things, but that was a really special one. Okay, so now back from the framer, it is my latest one, which I still call a little gem, Rosa Sugars. And she is a colorful girl. Now, I shared on Instagram, so many of you might have already seen the picture that I did with her with some primitive and antique little girl toys. It's an antique little a child's hutch and an old doll, China doll, that was gifted to me by my friend Jennifer. And anyways, I love her so much, and the 2 together are just perfect. So all of these have been stitched or been framed by Hobby Lobby, and in this situation, I must have tried 20 different frames with all different filigree, thinking I would go to my typical black frame, and ultimately it needed simple. And as I thought about Rosa being 4 years old, I just thought to myself, she put all the fun in here. It's all in here. And so I literally just thought, okay, plain is best, plain is best. And I really think that it showcases her, her work really well, and her little whimsical stitches, and how she has things that are touching. I'm trying to think of where the P, let's see here, this one, the number 9, she didn't really care. She really just, that's why I loved the idea of having her by, normally I would have added her to my sampler wall, to my reproduction sampler wall in my bedroom. But when I had her up there, I have a nook over my bedroom, and I will insert a picture here for you of how I had her staged in the picture. But it just, she looks so cute up there. I hate to, even though I like seeing my sampler wall grow, I just feel like that would be home and she would be honored. And these would be things, there's a little wooden horse that's old, and just an old spinning wheel, a young child's little toy spinning wheel. I think that's where home will be for Rosa. So she was 4 years old, and I like that this goes all the way back to 1881. The nice part about Rosa, if you look up her history, she did have quite a long life, and that's kind of a nice thing, because compared to many in the past, they certainly didn't have a long life expectancy. So I like this very much. And I think sometimes you have to, in a weird way, you have to listen to what your stitch is saying to you. Listen to your piece, and that's kind of the process I go through when I'm picking out a frame. So, okay, crazy side story when I'm showing finishes that I thought I would just throw in here. So one of the parts of my dad's journey, we all know the real estate market, so I don't need to share how things are selling like hotcakes. And when you're going through that, I mean, you immediately know that once you've, had this offer, you need to get on it and find yourself something. And that's not easy. And knowing that his goal was to come closer and to come in here and where we live, but at the same time, he had backup plan and backup places. He was incredibly smart about the entire process. But the first couple houses that we really thought were a yes, and it was going to be a done deal, things happened. They did not. They were not the house for him. And you have this, you're trying to believe that there's a reason for it, and at the same time, it's so natural to get frustrated because you have a time frame, and it can get incredibly stressful. So he knew all along when his closing was, and it was so not funny, but the first couple did not work out. And then he found one in here, and as we were walking through it, there was some work that needed to be done, and not incredibly hard, but at the same time, we're looking at those things and at the same time kind of falling in love with the house. Well, as I'm looking through the house and going through every bedroom, every bathroom, I came across, and there was just a feeling. There was a feeling in the house, and I just had it, and I could see my dad was visualizing things. But I came across the master bath, and there was this propped up, which I just kind of giggled to myself, not at the stitch, but at the fact that out of every house we looked at, you don't typically see cross-stitch pieces. It's just maybe not, it's just not everybody's craft, I guess. But when I went in there and I saw this on the bathroom counter, just absolutely, it just felt like this sweet little whisper that I just knew right then and there this was going to be the one. And I laughed later when I didn't really want to say too much, but when all was done, I told my dad, I'm like, I knew when I saw the cross stitch. And we all got a good giggle. So he had gifted me this. So I just thought it was funny, and it reminds me so much of I'm trying to think of, I will mention it next time. Toad, Amy loves toads. There you go. Shoot, I just had to think a minute. And she loves nature and everything and bugs, and it just cracks me up. I love this down here. So what I'll do with this, I don't really know. The fun part was, I will share that in this house, there were many, sorry about that, I shouldn't keep reaching. There were many framed pictures that were left. And so I went through them and I pulled out what was not really worth saving, or maybe somebody else would want, but I did find several frames that I think I can repurpose, repaint. I kept the wood ones. I'm excited to see what samplers can go in some. My sister does some stitching, like I said. Her husband does some beautiful photography. If you're looking for nature photography, very calming photography, you could look up my sister's husband on Instagram. His name is Richard Stein. Anyways, it just, I was not going to let those frames go to waste by any means, because we all know we can repurpose those. So I just thought that was so cute, because as soon as I walked into the bathroom and saw it on the counter, I'm like, home sweet home, Dad, home sweet home. Okay, so let's see if I can just move this like this. All right, I had also 2 days where Philip wasn't feeling bad, but he just knows his body. We should always trust our body. And he really just needed to relax in bed. So we did great for the first couple of days of the move, stopping by, helping out, and then he needed a break. And so during that break, I did get some good stitching done. So let me go through my whips that I have. First, I was gonna go ahead and show you, I didn't work on everything I wanted to, but I did get some good stitching in. This is my red cardinal. Let me see if I can, there you go. I've moved my ring light around. I'm hoping that it helps. But this is red cardinal by Owl, let's see if I can help you with that. There we go. Owl Forest Embroidery. This is a stitch along. They call it a SAL or hashtag SAL, but it's where we just, you know, stitch with each other and you get a group, or it just tends to grow. But this is the OFE Cardinal SAL, hashtag OFE Cardinal SAL, that I am hosting with Becca of Sambry Stitches, which, by the way, she did a new FlossTube of an interview of a FlossTuber, and she did Teresa Kogut. And I already know I'm watching that tonight when all things quiet down, when football comes on. I will be watching that. I love Teresa Kogut. Anyways, so this has become one of my most favorite stitches I've ever done. I was so glad that Christine from Hollis Hands Creates, she reached out to me and she's stitching it as well. And I can't encourage you enough, if you love cardinals, if you love the message that a cardinal is supposed to bring or not, this is a fun project. Now there are two patterns. I didn't pay attention to that when I did it. I'm working on red cardinal, and then there's one other one that's a little bit bigger, and that is the one that Becca's working on. So you get to see both. So my progress, I bought the dyed floss in the kit that came with it. Oopsie. My magnet wants to stick. Okay, this is my progress. Here we go. There. So that's the top. I really, I'd like to finish this basket this week and do a couple more. Now, I went ahead and Becca as well has added, we are adding initials of our loved ones under the birds. So what I did was, these birds right here, I have given these the initials of under their wing. I put AOB, which is Albert Oscar Beekman, and over here is VLB Virginia Lee Beekman. And those are my maternal grandparents. And I just like the fact that they were facing each other. So those are done. Now I haven't made a decision yet, but I know that this one up here, this female cardinal, she is so pretty. I have to make a decision. I can either just put my mom's initials here because I like the fact that it was a female, and later add other family members, or just don't worry about it, frame it, but denote this one for my mom, because I didn't want this big male here. I didn't want the initials there. I loved the fact that there was actually a female, and so I think this will have my mom's initials on it. And the dyed floss that you get from Owl Forest is absolutely so great to work with. I love it. I would never hesitate to order a kit again, and I certainly wouldn't hesitate to even just buy their floss. So a lot of you have joined in, and I love hearing that, and I just absolutely am enjoying this so much. I'll be sorry when this one's over, and I've already looked at, they have a blue one with not blue jays, but it's got blue birds, and really pretty, because I already want to stitch another Owl Forest embroidery. I just can't decide if I want to do this, or if you watched Kyle, you laughed. I'm always going to call him Kyle Reichmer, which that's not how you say it. But anyways, who he had a little stitchy bug going on. And so there is a new stitch along that basically is to help Kyle get his stitchy bug back, which is a hands across the sea pattern. I think it's the most recent Snow, Mary Snow, I think so. And I would like to do that. But anyways, he's a phenomenal stitcher, and he has many Owl Forest embroidery kits and loves them just as much. So he did Alice in Wonderland, the stitch along that they had last year, and that's a free pattern. And so I can't decide. I just loved that so much. And since my daughter had her Alice in Wonderland birthday party, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure which direction I want to go, because I kind of already have their projects picked for their birthdays this year. So we'll see. Anyways, so that is Red Cardinal. That's the stitch along with Becca. And now you have the announcement about her interview with Teresa Kogut, so make sure you get on board and watch that this week. Okay, the next one that I am doing, I'll just stick with the ones I'm doing with Becca right now. We had our start on our OSNAP sale, hashtag OSNAP, which is for Glendon Place Gingerbread Grove. Now, Becca and I became friends during the interview she did with me, and we just both have a love of, well, not only Christmas, but gingerbread specifically. So, anyways, I shared all my little goodies with you last FlossTube and the Happy Mail that I got. So, this is Glendon Place Gingerbread Grove. Now, there's also a discount that you can get if you order through Carla at Cobweb Corner. So feel free to reach out, and the link will be down below. You can also message me on Instagram or anything else if you're not sure where to get it from. But let's see if I can get you a better color. So I am using a 28 count blue from Be Stitch Me, and I can tell you that is called Frost. Be Stitch Me 28 count Frost. And we had so much fun getting all the goodies together for this. I had made, and I shared with you last time, let's see if I can do it here. I had got out some of my beading tools and refreshed my skills a little bit and made a scissor file. I don't know if you can see that, but it's really cute. We have a really cold, dark day, so anyways, that is, I made her this one. I made her one just like this. She has a blue bead, I have a green bead, and then I also found a surprise charm, so I had to make her another one because she has a little thing for Sasquatch, and I found a little charm that has Sasquatch on it, and so I made her up a quick one, so it just made sense to send them both together. So anyways, but my progress on Gingerbread Grove is I love it. Now, I have made the decision. I'm not a real shiny, blingy person. I will add some Krynic and I will add some beads, but I'm not, you can do your own thing and you do what you love. I'm a little more subtle. So, let's see if I can. The greens do a really good job. This fabric, you could have done opalescent. I did not. So I am up here right now. I need to finish the white on this, on this like lollipop. There you go, that's better. Sorry. And I'm just having so much fun. Again, there's just something so you know, enjoyable of doing Christmas stitching. And so this is it's just filling everything. Okay, so that's Gingerbread Grove. We are using all DMC, even though it does call for the Kreinik. I don't have those yet, and I don't have the beads, but these are my DMC. This is from Becca sent me this gift. This is from Christine, I think it's Christine, as the Yo Fly. So what she did was made us our own special bling. You can find her on Etsy. I'll link it below. But then when you flip it over, she's got our sale name. Oh snap. It's just so fun. I know that cross stitch is supposed to be about the pattern, but at the same time, it's about all the things too. And so this has just been so much fun to do. Anyway, so that's my progress. I have the first house. Let me see here. I have this first house here done and one deer. So I'll probably come down. Sometimes I think about changing the pretzels and I don't know why. Sometimes I feel like I would like a word in there, but I don't know what word. But anyways, I'll stick with the pretzels. But at this point, I know that I am coming down to, these are, right here is a little basket of donut holes. So that'll be where I head next after I finish this lollipop. But I'm just having fun. And it's really, actually, I was a little worried. I don't know why I was worried about it, but it's actually not too bad at all to read or anything like that. The pattern is black and white, but it's very clear. So anyways, that is Gingerbread Grove. And just in case you missed it, the happy mail I was talking about was from, her name is Yvette, Mama Clement on Instagram. And she had mailed me, let's see if I can get it. It's always better if you show it with something. She wanted me to have, it's dark in here, here you go, a needle book. And I love it so much. So it's so sweet. And inside there's little gingerbread buttons, and I have used it quite a bit already. I went to bed at like almost midnight last night, and I completely forgot that I had a needle book in order to put my needle in instead of dragging my thread up there. But anyways, so cute, so cute. Ooh, the sun came out. That'll be nice. Okay, so let me put that away. And I really just enjoyed stitching on it. So I feel like I got some pretty good progress in, because at first I thought, geez, maybe I won't get that done by Christmas. But actually, I think there's a good chance in there. Okay, the next one I worked on was, I forgot when I did my whip parade a while back, I had forgot one because it was in a basket up high, because it has all these different pieces to it, kind of like a block of the month, but it's not. It was a SAL by Witchy Stitcher, Universal Monster SAL, and it was a few years back. So my daughter Heather and I wanted to do it, fell in love with it. She had a second one come out, which was called Chopping Mall, but this is how it came out. And it's all like I'm gonna say it wrong, but the 80s, 90s horror flicks turned cute. And so I do like it. And she's farther ahead. I mean, she's more of a monogamous stitcher. But anyway, so this is it. And then you have a surprise. There's 9 rooms. And this is where I'm at. And I don't know, all of a sudden I wanted to make sure I got it down, and I just felt like stitching on it. I needed something easy, and I thought, well, I'll work on the black work. So this is my progress here. And I just needed something a little bit mindless. You know, I'd come home from my dad's and working, and I didn't want to think too much. So I've got my Dracula. You get to create your own ending. And so this is what I picked, was the door and the cauldron. And there are probably some outlining on each of these blocks, but I'm okay with that. I'll have to go back. So what I worked on this week was Bride of Frankenstein. I came over here and started, this is gonna be the mummy. So I got my cat Don and one of the sconces. And if you look at the hashtag Universal Monster SAL on Instagram, you will see so many combinations. It is phenomenal. And there is one with the blood moon. It's just so interesting how people changed it. So I don't know if you could tell up close a bit, this is on 28 count Sprite. So it is a light lavender. You might be able to tell up in there more. So it's a light lavender. It's really nice to stitch on. I got it at Brick City a while back. And there's 3 more rooms over on this side. And then I've got to work on the stairs. So I just kept working on building my rooms so that I could just easily go in and do the, whatever I felt like. And then when I got here, I thought, well, how perfect. I would just keep going with the black work so I could do some fill-in. And I decided on a really pretty dark purple. Some people, the called for is a gray up there. And I'm gonna swap it out, and I've seen many other color combinations, but I'm gonna swap it out for a little bit darker purple. So a bi-weeks dye works. So I was excited. I keep it housed in, I guess I should be saying what I've got these things in, but this one I made real simple because it was, like I said, it was 9 releases, and so I've got it where it's all organized inside. Sometimes I do that if it's a 12 part or something, and so I can break it down and not feel overwhelmed by something really thick. So anyways, that is Universal Monster SAL. That's all DMC. And like I said, depending on what Halloween stitch I finish, that'll decide, whatever one ends up being the closest to a finish, that'll decide what Olivia gets for her 20th birthday. So, all right, let's put that one over there. All right, I think we're down to haul, and I didn't do too much, but I did, I mentioned last week Darlene Dion Designs, and she is a quilt designer, as well as she's gotten, pretty heavily back into cross stitch. She's working on some smalls, and I love her feed. I love her FlossTube, and I can link it below, but she makes and shows you on her Instagram her making project bags. So I thought this would be really great for my Nottingham SAL, which is coming up with Fox and Rabbit on February 1st. I do need to get, I've got my threads, but I need to get them wrapped, and I need to get the linen. But anyways, so, and I love anything that will resemble a primitive, patriotic, because I can just use those so much. So anyways, beautiful job. Oops, I got a dog hair on the back. It's padded real nicely. So this is right up my alley because it's all the fabrics that I like. And then I got, so that was one haul. And then I fell in love with this first time I bought from myself from As the Yo Flies. And this one says, I cannot count my day complete till needle, thread, and fabric meet, which we've heard before, but she incorporated it into I Love Red. So let's see if I can, there you go. I thought she was so sweet, the little cat, which I end up with cats on my lap. And I just love that I can use it on, pretty much anything. So that was that. Now, I was in Hobby Lobby to pick up my FFO fully finished object, which was Rosa Sugars. And of course they've, there's not Christmas anymore, and they're down to Valentine's. And I was going by some of the kids section, and they had these playing cards, which I thought these were adorable. They had dogs too. You're talking, they were already 40 off, so it was $3.99. and I got 40 off that. And what I thought I've been wanting to give this a try, was I would try and take some playing cards and I would make them into my floss drops, because they're pretty hardcore sturdy. You know, they're not terribly expensive, and the only thing I needed to do, they worked out really great. I mean, good size. Let's see. The sunshine just needs to stay. Anyways, I just thought they were so cute. And of course, you have plenty. I didn't do all of them. I did 30, just thinking that would give me a good size project. And then I ordered, because of course the back is like this, and I didn't want to write on the front, and I didn't want anything to smudge off because it's that slippery sheen. So what I ordered was Avery multi-use labels. These were like a buck $1.50 or something on Amazon. So I will put those on the back, and I think that they are removable. Yep, removable. I was thinking that would work, so that then I could still reuse them. So that's what I'm going to try on here. Then I can put the DMC number on the back, and, you know, voila. I just thought they were really kind of cute. Okay, so let's see what else we got here. All right, both of the, I'm waiting for, I have not gotten a reply for each of the last winners. They're both from Fat Quarter Shop, and I haven't gotten an answer, so I will wait one more week on the most recent ones, and other than that, I'll just redraw for all three. So I will have the winner for this week's, which was 2 quilt patterns, and I will share that from Fat Quarter Shop. And the winner of this week's giveaway is Quilt Ma Sue Gooden. And it says, love blooms in the cross-stitching and quilting community. And she's right about that. Love blooms in the cross-stitching and quilting community. So, congratulations. And all you have to do, Sue, is email me at finallyafarmgirl.com. And, finallyafarmgirl@gmail.com. Anyways, or if you do have Instagram or Facebook, you can instant message me and just say I'm the winner. And anyways, that's why we need you to be over 18, because we need your address when we do these giveaways. So anyways, if you could reach out, I would love to get all of these giveaway prizes off to the winners. And so far, kind of having a slow start with some of the Fat Quarter Shop stuff. So I can announce again, hold on one second here. I should have thought about that when I was doing it. It was a late start today. These are the 2 that she just won. This is Alpine Blooms. And the other one is Zurich, which I love the blues on this. I love them both, but I do love the blues on this. And then the winner from the week before for Farm Life, the word was ink, was D. Burchell. So D, I have not heard from you yet. If I've missed it, reach out again, but I don't think so. If you ladies could just email me, I'd love to get these off to you. And she won Farm Life and the project bag. Farm Life cross stitch and the project bag. Okay, so now the next thing was plans. And at this point, I have several plans, and one of them is I need to get started on the next secret stitch or model stitch for Twin Peak Primitives. I also am really in the mood to do another ornament. So I'm hoping this week that I will start on my Vivsters. That is a stitch along that I am doing with Mama Loves You GB, Michelle, and I do have my fabric picked out. I'll share that with you in just a minute. So I also have another one that I am going to do. I am going to stitch for Twin Peak Primitives, and it is on the subject of Pride and Prejudice. So I am really excited to share with you some stitchy progress soon on that. I don't have anything to show you right now, but when I get stitching, I have been given, you know, the freedom to share as much as I want as I go along, because I can change colors, and I'm sure that there will be some conversions that come along, and it's a beautiful pattern. And so I'm excited that as I get going on that, that I'll be able to share that with you. So one secret stitch for the twins, and one that I will be able to share with you as I move through the project. So that's exciting. Okay. First and foremost, there are a lot of stitchers out there that are working on stitching something in honor of their lost loved ones or their moms, and the red cardinal one really was one that I was really passionate about. But I also had found this a while back because I loved the fact that my mom and I both stitched. So this, I'm going to start this week. I've pulled it out because I had a finish. So I had to decide what I wanted to replace Rosa Sugars with, and I decided on this. So this is Blackbird Designs, Mother's Honors Due. And it says, with my needle, I sew our names to give my mother her honor due. And then it's got the names below, Leona and Barb Adams. This is one I will give away. This is not huge. I have my center picked. There is really not, there's no border. So I thought this was a good one to add into my mix. One, because, you know, I wanted to get it stitched. And two, because, you know, I want to move it along. I want to pass this on to someone else. This is not, I've heard now that this is not as easy to find. I don't know that it's out of print, but I've had several who've asked for it in the past. I couldn't find it for them. So I will definitely move this on. And I shared it last time where I have the butterscotch, 28 count butterscotch. And even though I need to get it on some floss drops, I have, let's see if I can get them dangled for you. That doesn't look very pretty, but one, two. All right. It's not any better, is it? But they're really, really pretty. So, anyways, that's happening. That's a start for tonight. I got a lot of stuff I want to stitch tonight, don't I? Anyway, so that's on my plans. A Mother's Honor Due, and as soon as I'm finished, I will do a giveaway for that so that others can stitch it. I also need to get everything ready and all my floss wound and on floss drops for my Glendon Place Poltergeist Pirates SAL. I love watching, there's already people stitching on it. I love this so much. Oh, let's see if I can, it got, the sun went down, there we go. The beads are in the way. But it's gonna be fun. And this, I'm starting, this sale starts on February 12th. And I have to do my cutting out of the Etsy drops that I got real quick. And other than that, I'm all ready to go. The fabric I'm using is a specialty fabric that she picked, which is by, I say it every time, hand-painted specialty fabric by Crossed Wing Collection, and it is called Bang. So, since February is right around the corner, because next weekend is my the meet and greet up at Brick City Cross Stitch. I have been trying to add it, my little picture of the meet and greet announcement at the end, so I will make sure that that goes there again for you. And I'm getting really excited because now I do have some names that I know are going, so I'm thrilled to get to be able to put some you know, faces and names together, and it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be really fun, and I'm excited to bring some of my whips that I'm working on that I've shared with you, as well as some of the FFO'd pieces I'm gonna bring a few Twin Peak Primitives pieces with me, especially the Christmas morning, because I love that. And I have also promised, I'm gonna get sidetracked for 2 seconds, but I have promised to do 2 tutorials, one on French knots and the other one on scissor fobs. So I will say this right up front. You know, I don't consider myself a teacher in any means. I will show you how I make French knots, and what I'll do is either hashtag them as shorts and just do them separate, or I will see if my husband could video it and add it at the end. I'll see whatever works out best. As far as making a scissor fob goes, again, I'm not a teacher. I'm just using the skills that I have from in the past when I did beading, and they're working for me. I can absolutely show you how I do it, and they're really fun. So it's something when you just don't feel like stitching. I've been pretty much finding my charms from, you know, Hobby Lobby or Joann's. I also have found a special charm for somebody that I've been wanting to do something for them for a while, and I just didn't know what it was, and I will share that with you next time. So I did find a charm off eBay for them. So anyways, they're fun because it's just something else to hunt for, right? Okay, next on the plans, the Caterpillar Cross Stitch SAL has officially started. On January 21st, the first portion of the pattern, Center Stage, was released. And I have not put in any stitches in because you have a month to do it. But I am ready with my Dot Dot Goose bag. Miss Denise always does a great job. I can see exactly what's in here. And I have my gnome needle minder ready to go. So this is a bet. Last time it did not show the color very well, but this is better. This is very true. And that's why I said it's kind of like a colonial blue. So I love it so much. And I made, even though I haven't put some stitches in it, I made a garden gnome scissor fob. Well, not garden gnome scissor fob, but a scissor fob 4. Because if the gnome is there, then he should have a little garden as well. So this is what I did. See if I can get it a little closer for you. And I found a little mushroom glass bead. I like working with the glass beads. See if I can get it. And then up here at the top, I have a clip on. It's got an extra clip, so I can remove it and put it somewhere else. But I put a couple of danglies at the top and some scissors, and I just think it's sweet. I like it. It's like a book. And this was from Hobby Lobby. So, anyways, I am all set to go on the start, and so that is on my plans, because since I pretty much see you weekly, you know, this needs to get done because I definitely want to keep up with this. So, all right, moving right along. This is the Nottingham SAL. I am doing this with Karen from Fox and Rabbit. I've shown this a lot of times. I have my threads. I need to put them on thread drops, and we're starting this February 1st. Nottingham SAL, hashtag Nottingham SAL. And I am still in need of getting my linen. I don't know why I keep forgetting that I need to get that part. I know I have till the 1st, but the 1st is only a week away, so I need to get a move. Anyways, I wanted to use the Black Swan because the reason I jumped in on this and fell in love was it's beautiful pattern, but I loved seeing it when Kathy Barrett shared it on black. It just changed the dynamics of the whole stitch for me. So that is Nottingham, and you know, would love to have you stitch it with Karen and I. I know she did not feel good. I think she got her booster, so I hope, Karen, that you're on the mend. That's never easy because then you have to, play catch up. But anyway, so even if we don't get to start exactly on the first count, that's no big deal. We want you feeling well, and I'm excited to get going on this. So I'm gonna leave this out. This is the only way I feel like I'm gonna remember this week, is to it just needs to stay out. And I will probably use the Darlene Dion bag for that one right now. Okay, the last of the stitch along that I was supposed to start in January, and it's gonna fulfill the urge to make an ornament, is I picked out my fabric for the Vivsters, the 12 Days of Christmas. Oopsie, here we go. This is a stitch along that Michelle of Mama Loves You GB, she does so many good hand dyeing of fabric tutorials. I just, you know, she's just such a joy to watch. Anyways, we are going to do this. I've mentioned to you before I needed to get the fabric. I was going to pull it just from my stash, that the threads I was just going to use whatever I liked. I was not going to worry about putting anything together. I was just going to grab them as I go. And so I believe that some of them are going to need a little more detail. So I'm hoping to add use some dyed floss in there and give it a little bit more, I don't know, maybe some more texture. Like on his wing, I feel like that should be dyed floss. But anyways, I believe that when I get my start, I'm going to put a picture out. I am going to use this 28 count, which I know it's not marked, but I believe this is 28 count Vintage Country Mocha. I know it's Swag Art based by the orange. I love the feel of it. So if I'm wrong, somebody speak up, but I believe this is Country Vintage Mocha. And I think this is gonna it's a nice big piece, and I think it's gonna be perfect for the background, because we are not going to stitch. They are full coverage, but we're not going to stitch it like that. So I wanted something that has some detail on it, but not too much. And like I said, I got my wreath at Michael's for 70% off, a nice big wreath that as soon as I get the first one done and finished, I will make sure that I show you how I'm going to place them on there and move forward from there. So anyways, that is the last of my plans. Is I would like to, before the month is out, I would like to have a finish on one. Okay, so I think we did it. The last thing I was going to share was I try to share these little things with you, is I did get myself it's a smartwatch, but it's not an Apple Watch or anything. I wanted something that would help me track the miles, but that I'm walking for the Run Disney, which, just so y'all know, I just do intermittent jogging. I am not a runner by any means. I have one kind of a bum foot, so I have to be careful of that. So I do some intermittent jogging, and I'm just happy to be out doing it. And so I did grab this. It's called, I did get it out. I wanted it to track blood pressure. I wanted to know the miles I was going, the steps I was going, the calories that you burn. But anyways, it's called a smartwatch, but it is where did it go? Glory watch. Hold on one second here. Large screen heart rate bracelet. But there it is, sorry. Glory Fit. It is a Glory Fit intelligent sports watch. This was $40 off Amazon. And then we had a credit on something. So literally I got this for $17. So it was worth it to me to see if it was something that I would like, and I absolutely do. I have an Android phone, so I don't use any of the Apple products, but this has worked out really well. I wanted it to have a watch. I just shake my hand. It tells me what, I can look over at my blood pressure. I can sync my music. So in case you're looking for something that's just in a cheaper price bracket, but is still working really well, If you want the link, I can share it with you, but it's called Glory Fit, and it worked out really, it's working out really, really well, because I like to keep my phone free for if Randy needs me with Philip when I'm out, because yesterday I did 6 miles in 2 hours, and any progress I can make, it just keeps me away longer, which is great. You know, it's wonderful therapy. I will share with you yesterday that I really didn't want to go. I was very cozy in my bed. Philip was happy, and sometimes those moments seem like they're far and few when Philip's really engrossed in play and that stitchy time. However, I went ahead and pushed myself through it. I was so glad I did. Pulled off 6 miles. My timing was shorter. It took me less time, I guess I'm saying, to accomplish the 6 miles. I had I had my music this time, and it made me think about, you know, all these little, I don't know, little gems of whispers from the cross stitch piece that, you know, for in my dad's new home. And, you know, it's just a lot of times trying to figure out the best way of saying it, and that, you know, to me, I cherish when I know the Lord is speaking to me through some sort of a small whisper, whether I want to call them a little gem, or, you know, in the stitching world, because of Hands Across the Sea and these samplers that these young girls stitched, you know, it's just, and sometimes you see things. So it's nice. It's been really nice to have faith, step out, do some jogging a little bit, and, you know, it's hard to say. It's hard to say what the running or walking brings. I think it's nice when I can see, you know, I'll ask for a cardinal to be seen, and all of a sudden, you know, I get to see one. And all those little things just add up to knowing that I'm out doing the right thing for myself. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say, because I could very well get cozied up and stitch all day and never leave. That is an absolute hands down yes. So the fact that I could pull myself away, and 50 degrees is cold for us, so to go walk in it and stay motivated, the strength is coming from somewhere, and, you know, that's all I've got to say is, you know, I typically would be like, I'd rather sit here and eat, you know, and stitch and watch FlossTube, but I'm very thankful that when I'm asking for the strength to make myself get up and do it, I am doing that. And I'm trying to be diligent about it when I have the time on the weekend to get out and go. So let's see if I can pull off 6.5 miles today, if weather permitting. So I hope that didn't get too crazy for you. I'm sorry. Sometimes, you know, I want you to understand that there's just this unique connection when you, you know, are walking in faith, and that is just because those sometimes the messages or the whispers from God are just, sometimes it's just, you just know that it's hard to wrap your mind around, because it's personal. The relationship is personal with God, and I love that. I love that when I walked into my dad's new house, the cross stitch was there, because that's a personal whisper to me, and others may think something else, and that's okay. That's why we're all different, and that's what makes this community beautiful, because we can learn from each other. We can take away what we want to take away, and that's it. My takeaway this week is, you know, enjoy your stitching. Look for the little gems. Look for the little whispers. Look for the signs. Anyways, and have many new starts, because I think the thing I'm also feeling so much about is, you know, time is short. Time is precious. You know, love what you stitch. If you aren't enjoying it, don't stitch on it for a bit. Maybe you don't have to make a decision right away. However, when I feel like I want to start something, I'm starting something. It's just sitting there. And it's not going to hurt anything by having more than one start. You have it, because you don't know. And I love that some of what I've learned from, my mom's passing, other, I'm not the only stitchy person who's lost their mom, and or anyone special to them, and all it does is helps you hone in on what's really important. And I guess that's where my message will end. So enjoy life, and go out for a walk. And I thank you all for encouraging me, because many of you did, and that's huge. That's huge, to stay encouraged and motivated. I don't need me to be perfect. I've never needed me to be perfect. I just want me to be my best, my personal best. And that means I need the Lord with me by my side. So anyways, on that note, happy stitching, be blessed, and don't forget to floss.